Hi, I'm here in the lobby of the Carlton Hotel, the Intercontinental, which I was going to call the nerve centre for Cannes Lions, but I think it's more like the libido, or maybe the ego. It's kind of like the muster point for everything and everyone. It's just about 7 o'clock, and guess what? The coffee shop doesn't open until 7:30, because I was going to film this on the lobby. So I'm filming in this on the lobby. I was going to film it on the seafront where it's all gorgeous and beautiful, but in actual fact they're just assembling all the debris from Cannes Lions 2018, which is what we've just had here, which is why I'm here, and it's been a great festival for me. This year I put I didn't meaningfully did this. I mean, it's all about going to yachts, it's all about going to the right parties. And I did it last year, and I didn't fucking enjoy it. It was just too much. It was just full of fucking wankers drinking fucking warm beer and just talking shite. And obviously, because I hadn't gone to, I don't know, maybe I haven't gone to the right places. I don't want to be cynical and sort of like, put that kind of stuff down. But it just didn't work out for me. And this year, what I did was, I was much more diligent about who I emailed, and I focused on meeting people as opposed to going to events, and it was much more satisfying. And I've had a great trip, and I met some wonderful people, caught up with some clients, and really got a sense of what was going on. Not because I was a delegate. Being a delegate is really expensive. It's like $4.5 grand this year. So what I did is I got the digital pass, which was €100, which means you could see most of the main keynotes live as they are happening off your phone anywhere. So instead of struggling and queuing and jostling and being around a lot of smelly people, albeit with beautiful haircuts, I just sat in Cafe Poet and watched it all go on, and then just went and met people in restaurants and coffee shops, cafes, which was perfect. When I came here, I got to the Carlton, and it was like sponsored by MediaLink. I'm like, MediaLink? Who the fuck is MediaLink? And I did some research. MediaLink is owned by the new Dark Lord of the advertising industry. The old Dark Lord, which is what we are used to affectionately call Martin Sorrell, has since left WPP under a bit of a cloud. And I've got to be honest with you, I've always had a profound respect for Martin Sorrell. I've worked for him, I've met him a couple of times. He's a super smart guy, very focused. And he taught me this amazing trick, which I've actually done this on a couple of people. I can say it now because I no longer work in advertising. If you have breakfast with Martin Sorrell, what he'll do is, it'll be obviously it's in the morning because it's breakfast, and the waiter will hand you the menu. He'll say, what are you having? You'll say, oh, well, I'll have the eggs Benedict, please, whatever it is that you're gonna have. I turn to him and he goes, I'll have a Perrier. So there you are, struggling through your breakfast, trying to sound intelligent, wise, and string a coherent answer to, Sir Martin with a mouthful of eggs and crumpet. The new Dark Lord is a guy called Michael Cassens. Michael Cassens is the CEO of MediaLink, and it's a really curious entity. I was talking about it to, ironically enough, a friend of mine, or a new friend, someone I met, and she'd never heard of it, and she works for Chai Day. And I said, no, I hadn't heard of it either. And I said, I was going to call it a parasite, but that's the wrong word. And I don't want to, I don't think what they're doing is necessarily wrong. And a parasite wants to kill the host, so that's not the right word. I said, it's much more like, we talked about symbiosis. It's not symbiosis either. But what he's done is he's created an entity that feeds off the fear, mistrust, and ego of the advertising industry. And it's an entity that does agency searches, recruiting, headhunting. It's really fascinating. And I was doing a little bit more research on it, and I came up with this amazing book called Frenemies, which was a Michael Sorrell term for companies like Google or Facebook who pretended to be agency friends but were really direct competitors. And that's just, read it. Frenemies by Ken Ortella, who was 30 years at the New Yorker. Right, I see that the coffee shop's opening, so I'm going to close now, but I'm off to Nice for another 10 days, and you'll hear more from me then. Don't forget to check out my blog, because I'm Paulie and I write amazing stuff.